sometimes for commercial jobs, illustrators aren't allowed to put their,
Is this copyright?
I honestly am not on that committee and was no part of this process. I'm just happily accepting them and showing them off. I love it.
yeah,
It's really cute,
it's
isn't
cute.
it?
I love her work.
Maybe available.
So you know the person? That's
I
cool.
don't know her personally, I
Oh,
just,
okay.
you know, it's
Yeah.
another illustrator that I'm connected with, yeah.
Does that conclude your director's report?
That concludes my report unless anyone has any more questions for
I
me.
do have one question.
Sure.
If it rains on Saturday, what happens to Make a Difference Day? Do they have a,
They don't have a rain date, it's rain or shine.
yeah, okay,
And there have been times when it's poured rain and I've said, no,
not gonna.
not it. But if it drizzles, we put up the easy up and it's fine. But I think it's supposed to be nice. Raining tomorrow, raining Monday, but I think nice Saturday, Sunday,
It's supposed to
so
rain tomorrow.
fingers crossed. For a nice day on Saturday.
Showers tomorrow.
Yes, I think it is supposed to rain tomorrow.
Phil, you had another question?
This is the second month that we've shown the meetings that already passed. Is it possible that in future reports, we have a list of meetings that are coming up?
I don't always know what they are, but sure.
Any ones that are? And I am concerned that this is my almost second complete year, and I haven't gone up to Make a Difference Day up in Albany. I haven't been notified at all. Do they still do that?
Advocacy Day?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I talked that up.
That was in
I don't
our
know how much.
packet, we talked about it at the meeting.
What
Yeah.
meeting?
It was in January, I think, or, and the event was in March, but we got the information a month before.
Yeah, I think that was the meeting you were out sick.
Yeah.
And it
Okay, we
wasn't-
also-
It wasn't the meeting. I know that I can probably tell you at least 2 months in a row.
And
but
they
you
usually
may have
post
been
a
out
flyer
for both of them.
downstairs, right? The friends have something
Yeah.
to sign up for the
But he
bus.
was not well during that period, so he may have missed some of it,
Yeah.
even though it was out
I
there.
know there was just enough talking about it, but I always feel guilty when I forget to.
See, if I can make David feel guilty, he's hearing a lot.
Well,
It's really easy.
Yeah, the friends usually get a bus too, so it's usually
Well, the library-
friends meeting
well, I
around that
wasn't at any of
time.
them.
Yeah,
It was a
so-
rough winter, but I wasn't
Yeah.
even aware of it the year before, so hopefully
That's
next
an
year.
unfortunate thing with the internet too, is that they do have a great site about the advocacy events and how to get up there, which emails you can send, so that you can send
Well,
it to the
I-
right representatives.
Well, I know the last time I was on the board, it was asked at a meeting to let somebody know by a certain date if you were going to attend, because you had to take the bus up and stuff,
Yeah.
when the bus was leaving and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That would have been done in February when you were not here.
You were having your operation.
Okay, and all we can do is tell you that look for it starting the first of the year for next year. Okay, moving on from the director's report. Any old or unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move on. Is there any new business for the board? Yes, Phil.
I see they stopped the door from sticking. It's not a permanent solution though, because whatever the cause was has not been rectified. If that frame is shifting, I was told that, pardon?
I don't believe it is.
Well, we'll see. If, in a month or so it starts sticking again, then the frame would be shifting again.
Yeah.
So, but I was told that the metal frame was insufficient to hold the weight of that door, which is part of the reason why I was doing that, so.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah. And if I could get a comment from Lisa somewhere along the line, why if she prescribed plywood for the doorways downstairs as part of the framing. So he's using plywood instead of 1x or whatever. He's using birch around the outside, but the header, it's not really the header, but the top part of the trim is a piece of plywood.
Aren't the frames themselves going to cover whatever's...
Are they putting metal frames in there too?
Yeah, yep, just like up here.
But he framed the inside with finished material. The rooms, the team room side, he finished with finished material.
I thought, if I remembered correctly, it was wood with the metal inside the wood though, so there's both.
Is that what it called for?
It could be.
Huh.
I could be remembering wrong, but I thought we picked paint colors for those different pieces.
Oh. As part of the, operations committee, could I please be notified if Joe, Lisa, and Marge and the contractor are present for any meetings, that I be notified of those meetings?
When I say that they're here individually. Like Joe always comes in at the end of the week, but I'm never really sure when he's gonna be here. Sometimes he checks in with me, sometimes he doesn't. Lisa will come on her way through from one place to another and say, I was passing through, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna check this out. So I don't always know when they're, I usually don't know. I mean, Lisa might call me the night before and say, I'm coming through, you know, just letting you know that I'm gonna be checking on the project. So it's not like Joe and Lisa are here at the same time. They're just both coming through,
Sometimes
monitoring the
Joe
project.
is leaving the city in the morning, so he doesn't know when he's coming up, and he's squeezing it between other appointments, so.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Lisa's pay, or the company's reimbursement is based on the cost of the project, correct?
I don't think so. I mean, there was an amount of money that this board approved paying for each project.
Yeah, that was a separate vote.
Which is what I don't understand. We had a discrepancy when we went to approve the lowest bid. At the special meeting, it was $800 more than it was supposed to be.
It was, like, the bid that was submitted was $800 more than the projection we got for, that went out with the grant application and was done months before.
No.
So is this part of the board meeting?
It's supposed to be new business and it's not. Is it public comment, Bill?
No.
Well, it's not new business, that's what we're on.
Well, you said that we've been through this before. This is
Through
something,
what before?
what you're asking about. You
This
said,
is
when
new
we had
business.
this
No,
other-
I was trying to make a point before I got interrupted.
Okay, what was the point?
The point was, his bid came in 20,000 and change more than he projected. But his bid was 92,000 even. But at the special meeting and at the operations meeting, it was listed as 92,860, I think it was. And we approved that.
Yes, we did.
And then come to find out, a couple weeks later, Marge signed a contract for 92,000.
Yeah.
Totally unauthorized, by the way, because you had it. And I offered to amend that night. I offered to amend it. And nobody wanted to go for it because I suggested it. But that's besides the point. So now, we have a bid of 92,000. When was the architect's fee established for this job, based on that 92,000?
I'm not sure that we're paying it based on this
It's
job.
not
It's-
based, it's
It's
not
not?
connected at all.
No, we
We
based on-
voted separately on their fee
How,
when they started doing
How
the
can we-
initial study for us.
we approved X amount of money for the grant, for the diagram for the grant application. Correct? So
Yeah.
Marge could
Yeah,
submit it.
that was a small piece of a larger
Yeah.
job that they
Well,
were doing.
I
for
never
us.
voted, and I can't recall this, because every project, the compensation to the architect is based on how much work is done. You don't give them I'm using small numbers. You don't give them $15,000 based on her projection, and we had to chop 30,000 off to get down to the guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. So now he's doing less work, so she's doing less work. So you bring down, so I don't recall, if you could show me what the resolution
I
when we
believe
take,
you're looking at the documents for how she was paid. They're attached to the voucher.
in here?
That you have,
Well,
yes.
no, it's just one big.
And in fact, if the price is cut down, it's actually increasing Lisa's work. She's spending more time negotiating.
And coming to meetings and things like
Talking
that.
to the furniture
It's not
representative to
just
lower the price.
Redesigning the project.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know, what the builder does, it's the time she spends coming here, when we ask her to come for meetings and things like that. But this is not pertinent under new business.
Well,
Is this your, you
Ursula,
consider
yeah.
this your
Well, I'd like to
public
see-
comment?
Ursula, I don't understand how this conversation is part of the agenda.
It's not.
It's not.
So
what do you
I-
consider new business?
I
I'm
know
sorry,
that
what do you
this-
consider new business then, so I don't have to confuse this gentleman here?
Well, new business would be something totally separate from everything we've talked about tonight. And we did discuss this under the operations committee, which is where these comments belong. New business would be if someone had a project they wanted us to consider, or we were bringing up some way to support the Friends when they're fundraising. New business is a new activity, not something that we're already engaged in. Now, there
Yeah,
is a thing on here for public comment. Is this your public comment?
asking the board questions is not public comment. That's new business.
It's public comment by trustees. It's not new business because it relates to something that's already been handled under the operations committee.
Everything we deal with in these agendas is that stuff that's been part of the budget, so if you want to use that logic, forget it. You can't discuss nothing. I'm trying to get the new business being, could I be satisfied somewhere along the line showing the resolution where we voted on her salary for this project, not for the grant application, I remember. I'm asking to see the resolution that we passed to pay her, what the full amount is gonna be. And do we have a completion date too, by the way?
I believe we just said it would be probably the second week in July. Clark, we don't usually have public comment at this point. Was there something you needed to say?
I was just waiting for public comment.
The public comment by the
Was at the beginning.
public is at the beginning.
It's at the beginning.
This is public comment by trustees.
Well, he's an honorary, he's an alumni, he can speak at that.
I would like to move that we.
I probably shouldn't anyway, but I'll save it.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I guess we just skip
I
over
still
the
have
trustee
something,
comment?
yeah. I wanted to ask about the event that took place over there. It appeared that they were taking payment online. I
Yeah.
thought we were not
They have-
hosting events that have payment, or is that, I'm just wanting
It's a-
clarification.
It's a pay what you will.
Okay,
They are taking payment. They also had many scholarships, and they said nobody who couldn't
Oh,
pay would be
okay.
turned away. So basically, if you wanted to go, you could go.
Yeah.
And they were saying, but we would like you to pay if you can.
that's
So,
all I wanted.
Okay, and we
So-
did specifically tell them that if they turned anyone away for non-payment,
Yeah.
we would charge them the rate for the room, which is $25 an hour, I believe, at the current time.
Yeah, I was only asking because sometimes people complain that we charge for the room.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't charge, if
So-
we don't charge for the room, they can't turn someone away for non-payment. Yes, Ellen?
I would like to back up to new business and
Yes.
ask if we are going to be participating in the soapbox derby this year.
Joe was talking
He
about
did talk
that.
about that.
He's
I don't
talking
think there's a
about-
commitment yet, but he's
But
thinking.
he was talking about looking at the existing one and seeing about maybe doing it and maybe involving some teens and possibly renovating it and things, and he'll bring it to us when he has more information.
Because it's coming up
August.
August.
Yeah.
Okay.
What meeting was she referring to? Ann? Ann?
The civics.
The class, the
The
Civics
civics
101
class.
class.
Across the hall.
Well, some people did pay though,
It was a donation, pay as if you want.
so doesn't that make them subject to paying for the room?
No, as long as anybody who wanted to could attend without paying, they can use the room.
You'll
Where-
want to read the bylaws, it's fairly subjective.
I think it would be for the common good if, if they're making money on it, that they should, in good faith, pay $25 for an hour is not bad.
The donations
Minimum.
are asked for to cover the cost of the people doing the program over the 4 weeks. To pay them for giving up their evenings to come here. That's what the
And we
donations listed
giving up
for.
our space.
We are volunteers here. You and I are volunteers to the library.
Yeah, but we're still giving up they're using our space,
As long as
But-
It's it's
You know,
bringing a lot of
and-
people in and.
I'd also
Yeah.
like to point out that, I totally forgot, I meant to include it in this month's board packet, but there was a recent article in Public Libraries Online saying that civics engagement for public libraries is very important right now. We should be having classes in civic involvement and civic discourse and how to run for public office and what your government does. And that's what's happening across the hall. And, this is a major library publication saying, hey, you know what libraries should be doing right now? And it's exactly what we're doing. So,
My neighbor went to this, and that's how I knew about it.
yeah,
But I didn't get a chance to ask her how she found out about it. How did people find out about this? Just online?
I think so.
Yeah, it was
I think
online.
the
It was on
organizers were
Facebook.
putting the word out.
It was
I
in
got
the
an email
Freeman,
notice.
it was,
And
also on the
we have a
website, on the
flyer.
library's website, on the calendar. So,
Okay, we have a
in the-
motion to adjourn.
Can I?
What,
I don't know why all these things are getting past me. I know I don't come here that often. Oh,
By the way,
By the
you've
way, new
exceeded the
business.
10-minute allotment for public comment by trustees, so you have
Well,
a
no,
minute and a half.
I'm still with the new business.
It's not new business, it's old business. It's part of the committee.
What is old business?
He's bringing up something all new.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Old
I had it,
business is what we've already talked about, is old business. or
Right, but he's,
something with
somebody
postponed.
brought up something new.
Okay, so
And I
you
think
wanna
he's
talk
talking
about
about
this?
something new.
if you look at the, oh, by the way, when do we get the results of the director's?
You don't.
Why not?
Because we don't publicize them, it's a matter of privacy, because it relates to a specific individual. And I
Correct.
did
As
make
a board member, I'm not entitled to that?
No.
Who's entitled to it?
I discussed it with Margie and I reported on it at a previous meeting.
You reported the results at a previous meeting?
It's always been the practice that the board president collects the information and sits with the director, whoever the director is at the time, and provides the evaluation. That's always been the practice of the board. It has never been a full board thing. Full board input, and then the actual evaluation is provided by the board president.
But could she give directions based on, you know?
Well, you provided input, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that input was given to me.
But I don't know if I'm the only one that had the same input or not, so, you know, but anyways.
Based on the information I have, your input was not the same as anyone else.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be. But one of the reasons, and you said that, you know, and I said it's very hard for me to come to this library, and I could not understand why. I put that on there. But somebody mentioned it to me the other day, and then it clicked. I can't remember how the conversation went, but he mentioned the smell, he said it smelled moldy in here, okay? Now, that is a result of a closed system, heat, air conditioning, one to offset the other, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we might want to consider sometimes just opening the window, get some cross ventilation, you know, get the stale air out or
I
something.
have seen the windows open on various occasions.
I've never seen it, but go ahead.
We don't usually open them if there's a meeting going on because of people with allergies. We've had,
I've opened them myself. Sometimes because I get here usually 8:15 in the morning. I'll open some windows and then at about 9:45 I'll close them again, just to get some air in and then
and you
close it up
can't, you
again.
don't want to leave the windows open when you're running the air conditioning or the heating because it defeats the purpose.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times if you had the window open, you would need the air conditioning.
But I agree, I do open windows.
Okay, is that all, Bill?
Yep, thank you.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, David. This meeting is now adjourned.